Welcome to this presentation on graduate fellowships and awards. My name is Katie Lee, and today I'll talk about my office's role, who we serve, and where you can find funding opportunities for your graduate studies. I'll also talk about the timeline for when you should think about applying to fellowships and scholarships. Georgetown's Office of Graduate Fellowships and Awards is responsible for the growth of fellowships and grants that support graduate study. We serve as the point of contact for internal and external graduate student and postdoc funding and provide individualized assistance with proposals and applications to current students. Because we are a small office, we are only able to provide individual support to current students. If you are an applicant to Georgetown University, consider reaching out to the fellowship office at your undergraduate university. The admissions contact for the program you are applying to at Georgetown may also be able to recommend some common awards that students in their program receive. If you are a current Georgetown University graduate student, your academic program or faculty advisor will be a great resource. Our office can also provide individualized assistance with proposals and applications to current students. If you are a PhD student, the most important thing to remember is that you will need to apply for fellowships a year in advance of when you need the funding. As an applicant or during the first year or the beginning of your second year, you should apply for predoctoral fellowships and small research or conference grants. Then, in year 2 and the beginning of year 3 is when you should be applying for dissertation research funding. During year 3 and the beginning of year 4, you should apply for dissertation writing or completion grants. And finally, during the 4th year and the beginning of the 5th year is when you can apply for postdocs. Note that this schedule is presuming a 5-year period of study, so it's best to consult with your advisor regarding your specific timeline. Because fellowship deadlines are often 6 to 12 months before the award period, and master's programs are only 1 to 2 years in length, master's students should be applying for funding for their first year at about the same time as they apply for graduate school. They should then be applying for second-year funding during the fall, winter, and early spring of their first year. By late spring and summer, it's often too late. Where can you find this funding? I encourage you to check a variety of sources. First, there are fellowship databases that contain many opportunities. One I recommend is the Fellowship Finder. Although this database is maintained by the University of Illinois, most of the awards are open to students at other institutions, including Georgetown. It's a really useful database because it's graduate student specific but allows you to use filters by degree, citizenship, type of award, eligibility, and more. Another database is Pivot ProQuest. While not as user-friendly as the Fellowship Finder, this database contains thousands of opportunities, and our office holds workshops to help you navigate this system. Another source of funding is academic or professional groups. For example, if you are studying political science, you could search the websites of political science professional groups to see if they have funding opportunities, large or small, for graduate students. I also recommend checking CVs of researchers in your field, because most CVs will include a section for honors, fellowships, and grants, which can direct you to awards you may not have previously heard of. Listservs are also a great resource for finding funding, both my own office's monthly listserv or those of funding organizations, so you'll be the first to know when applications open. Finally, there is of course Google. You can conduct searches such as Master Support for Chemistry or Fellowships for Women in STEM. When doing these searches, consider who you are related to your field and related to your identity. Next, I will discuss some additional considerations for different student populations. If you are an international student, a good place to start looking would be the International Scholarships search engine, internationalscholarships.com, which lists scholarship and grant opportunities for study in the United States. On our website, you can find a list of country-specific financial lenders compiled by Georgetown's Office of Global Services. Keep in mind that this is not an exhaustive list, so you should conduct your own search as well. The Education USA website is also a great resource for finding funding. Finally, the Fellowship Finder I mentioned earlier also has filters for international students. Military-connected students also have specific opportunities like the Yellow Ribbon Program. Georgetown has a unique benefit for the Yellow Ribbon Program because there is no limit on the program's number of recipients for all of Georgetown schools except for the School of Medicine. For more information on other military-related benefits, students can visit veterans.georgetown.edu. There are also scholarships that specifically support diversity and inclusion of underrepresented students, and there are a few resources to help you find those. The first is the Fellowship Finder I mentioned earlier. Some of the eligibility filters it has includes one for underrepresented students and one for women. Another great resource is By Identity, a website from Florida State University. It includes links for students who identify with underrepresented racial or ethnic backgrounds, LGBTQ+, non-traditional family backgrounds, and more. One word of advice: while I recommend that you do take advantage of those filters, I also encourage you to do an open search as well to make sure you don't miss out on any opportunities. The Office of Graduate Fellowships and Awards holds regular workshops on finding and applying for funding, including sessions on navigating the Pivot funding database, communicating your research, writing personal statements, and more. You can find the full schedule on our website. In addition, we are able to review essay drafts for fellowship applications. Please reach out to our office for more details. We hope some of your questions were answered by this video. We look forward to working with you.